Hi guys, and welcome to an SSG Quickie, where we essentially go through the news as quickly as possible. And I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion with Smash Brothers coming up soon, and I also wanted to touch on Fallout 76 because it seems like it's not really going as well or as smoothly as we originally thought. So I have I wanted to kind of go through things a little bit as we do a normal SSG podcast. I'm just going to go through things a little bit quicker, or assume I'm going to go through things quicker. The games that have recently come out, there's not that many new games that have come out. Most of the games that have were kind of in that lull period right after the holidays, and all, or at least Thanksgiving. And to all of the American listeners, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Though I ate plenty of turkey. In fact, I'm still living off some turkey myself. The most recent games that have come out: Farming Simulator 19, Darksiders 3, Artifact, it's a card game, and Ride 3, which is a racing game for the PS4. Excuse me. I think, honestly, that it's kind of amazing, I guess, that, Darksiders 3 that came out. All the games, for the most part, are having pretty middling scores through Metacritic. The only go figure, the only game that has at least a green score is Farming Simulator 19 with a 76 on Xbox One. That's interesting. What I also find very interesting is Battlefield 5 it has pretty decent ratings across the board. The PS4 version has a 73, and then, oh my goodness, the craziness that is Fallout 76 currently has a 51 on PS4, a 54 on PC, and a 49 on Xbox One. This game looks like trash. This game looks like utter trash. This game looks like someone went and took maybe the Fallout 4 engine, which I thought was a modified Fallout 3 engine or something like that, and just said, hey, we're going to make it sort of kind of open world with PvP aspects, no NPCs around, you're just trying to survive. And the concept, when you thought about it, when you looked on paper, it was like, this seems like a really cool thing. And I don't think it was fully fleshed out. I think it was 100% rushed. And I think they just had existing assets that they said, here, we'll just turn this into something and we'll make a profit off of it. I think this is a terrible decision, a terrible move by Bethesda. And I think it is honestly a massive insult to the fans of the series. Fallout 4, while it was great, it still, from what I've seen, it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. It seemed like there were some problems with the game. The building aspect was kind of cool, but in all honesty, look at the graphics. The graphics feel like they've not really... A Bethesda game looks kind of the same. There's just aspects of Skyrim that look pretty, but it's their graphic system has not gone through any kind of a change, and I think this is just supposed to get them some more money moving into whatever the next Elder Scrolls game is supposed to be. It's sad that it's come to this. Bethesda feels like they've fallen, and I think this just exposes, I think, what game companies tend to be these days. I mean, they are a business, but they're not, for the most part, they're not out for your best interest, perhaps. I would just be wary of game developers these days, unless they're the indie ones that are something like I don't know, the people that make Stardew Valley, or the people that make I forget the name of them. They make Enter the Gungeon. The people like them. Those seem like really good people who are in the interest. They want to make a profit. They want to make money off the ends, but they're invested though in their products, and they want to give the consumers the best product that they can. They want to make money, but they're also interested in having an invested relationship. With that said, though, a few news topics that I want to go through. I have a little bit of Smash Brothers stuff I want to talk about as well. A few things with the Switch that I want to go over. Apparently, the Nintendo Switch sales topped the Wii's over the original Wii over Thanksgiving. which is fantastic to hear. It seems that the Switch has apparently sold 8.2 million consoles in the U.S. alone, which is pretty massive. That's really, really cool to see that. It says even the Nintendo Switch is forecast to outsell the PS4 in 2019. So you're talking that at this point, Sony could become a bit of a third place as far as the console wars go, if that's still a thing that's going on. And the major news that just recently came out not too long ago, Nintendo ended up scrapping their YouTube revenue sharing. This was a big problem for a lot of people who wanted to do YouTube, but they wanted to play Nintendo games. If you wanted to play Nintendo games, you had to sign up for their creators program, which meant that you received less of your ad revenue as opposed to someone else who was playing any other kind of game. They decided to shut it down to make it easier for people to create videos and all that kind of stuff. It says right here, this is the program when launched in 2015 allowed content creators to receive 60% of the advertising revenue from videos containing Nintendo intellectual property, or 70% if they chose to designate their entire YouTube channel. It was created following criticism Nintendo was trying to claim YouTube ad revenues entirely for itself, although the Creators Program brought its own fair share of problems. When it was launched, approval services were overwhelmed, while YouTubers who wanted their entire channel approved were asked to remove any non-Nintendo videos first. YouTubers who didn't join the program had their videos demonetized, while those who did saw their revenue significantly reduced. 40% of advertising revenue from videos goes to Google, which means the remaining 60% was then split between the content creator and Nintendo. As noted by Polygon, tensions reignited last year following the release of Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, when YouTubers faced a fresh round of copyright strikes and live streaming was also restricted. With Nintendo increasingly gaining a reputation for harsh copyright policies, the end of the Creators Program may finally bring YouTubers some relief. Bring on the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Let's Plays. Yes, absolutely. I think that's fantastic. I'm glad Nintendo has finally come to their senses. This now opens up a large amount of games that I think a lot of people are going to end up playing on YouTube, and it'll be really, really cool to see that. Moving on, let's see, to some cool PlayStation news. We have the new, we have the December 2018 PlayStation Plus lineup for those that are interested. For PlayStation 4, you get Soma and Onrush. That seems kind of weak. For PlayStation 3, you get Sterenden and Steins Gate. And for PlayStation Vita, you get Iconoclasts, which is a cross-buy with PS4, and then Papers, Please. So if you're interested in either of those games, go check it out. And on the flip side, does people still say flip side? I have no idea. The Xbox free games with gold have been announced. Says that although November's games with gold selection was far superior, Xbox One gamers will still get the better end of the stick this month since the console is more or less completely backward compatible. Still, those gamers will be able to download and play both Cube 2 and Never Alone on the more powerful hardware. And if that's not already enough, they can then add the Xbox 360's Dragon Age 2 and the original Xbox's Mercenaries Playground of Destruction to their ever-growing collections. So you heard that. It's Cube 2, Never Alone, Dragon Age 2 for Xbox 360, and then the original Xbox game, Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. I remember when that game came out, there was a lot of hoopla about that because of the destructible terrains and whatnot. It was said to be a really big deal. Excuse me. Moving on the last little bit of news before we jump into some Smash Brothers stuff. Apparently, according to NPD, which is they essentially they count everything, so anything sales related. This is that's what NPD does. They claim the Xbox One is performing phenomenally, or Xbox One X is performing phenomenally. So people are really going for the 4K gaming experience, which is kind of interesting. And then Nike has a new shoe that pays homage to Sony's original PlayStation, which honestly, these shoes just look gray with the controller, the X, square, circle, and triangle icons through the back of it. There's a little bit of blue. The Nike logo is yellow, and there's like a Velcro on top. This was gray with a little black on the end. It kind of looks neat. Yeah, I'm not a shoe fan, but it's kind of cool. So I want to move over into a little bit of Smash Brothers. I guess you could say this is the Smash Brothers primer. As you guys may know, if at least if you follow us on Twitter and Facebook, as at SSG_podcast, you would know that we are going to be having a bit of a Smash Brothers themed episode next week. I have a guest that I will be bringing on, and we will be discussing how we feel of the game so far. Now, we won't have a ton of time to really digest the game, but it will still be really cool to have a bit of discussion, and I may see if I can get someone to come on the week after, perhaps, and maybe we'll go into more detail. Depends on what you guys want. If you want more Smash Brothers, then let me know. Smash a like button for me, or something, I don't know. So, everyone is returning to the roster. I'm reading an article off What Culture. These are the 6 details you need to know. So anyone who is living under a rock, essentially, if you don't know anything about Smash Brothers, you don't know what's going on, here is a bit of a primer to get you ready to rock and roll. Yes, I have pre-ordered my copy. Let's go. So, everyone is returning to the roster. Everyone. Yes, everybody from previous Super Smash Bros. Games will be returning to Ultimate. And yes, that includes everyone's favorite character, the Wii Fit Trainer. She's actually not that bad. The introduction of Simon Belmont, the Inklings, Ridley, and Incineroar, who's going to be my new favorite one to play as, along with so many more characters as playable fighters, has been received very warmly, more than living up to the Ultimate moniker. Also, the inclusion of Ken, Dark Samus, and Richter Belmont as just some of the Echo fighters has fulfilled a lot of fans' wishes leading up to the game's release. However, not only are all of the characters returning, but also all stages, music, weapons, items, and assist trophies. The new roster will boast 80-plus playable fighters, with talk of 5 more DLC warriors joining the battle sometime next year. And understand this. When I talk prices, this is American, this is U.S. currency. If you pre-order, you can pre-order regular Smash Brothers at $60, as it always been. I think there is a version, a variation that has, it's like I forget what it's called. I think it's a Fighters Pack, I think is what it's called. You get essentially those 5, the first 5 that they release, minus Piranha Plant. I think Piranha Plant is going to be a free one for everyone. I think sometime in February is what I'm hearing. But if you get the Fighters Pass, then you get the first 5 new characters that they release. It's a little bit more expensive. I think the Fighters Pass is literally about $25, which is insane. $5 per character. Nintendo, you kind of getting a little crazy there. A little arm and a leg, whatever. But yeah, what's crazy is we're gonna have 80+ fighters anyways. One of my favorite games of all time is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I am terrible at fighters. I'm better at Smash Brothers, but I'm terrible at your traditional fighters because I don't play them all that often. But I always loved playing those games, especially with my friends. I love the roster size of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I think there's something like 55 characters, and that's not counting alternate skins and whatnot. Different colored costumes and junk. There's 80+ for Smash Brothers Ultimate. Wow. We're going to come close to having 100 characters before all this is said and done. Or we may end up getting 100 characters before this is all said and done. Who knows? That's really exciting. I like having the massive amount of fighters, and I'm wondering how they're going to be able to balance everything out, because every fighter, just about for the most part, is going to be different. Number 5, but there's still no Shadow or Waluigi. And see, that's a crime. During the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Nintendo Direct, Piranha Plant was introduced into the game. And with that, the final fan roster request must have been answered, right? Not quite. While fans will always welcome another character, their demand for Waluigi has seemed to have been once again ignored. Mario, Luigi, and Wario are all leading characters in Smash, so it's not surprising to hear fans' disappointment to see Waluigi still being overlooked in the hit game. Hashtag release the Waluigi. Also, as the devs have now included Echo Fighters, it's also left fans wondering why Shadow the Hedgehog has been added as an alternative to his counterpart, Sonic. Yeah, why? You would think that's a perfect, maybe a perfect example to have him as an Echo, because I mean, granted, Shadow isn't exactly like Sonic. He also uses guns, but I still think it would work out. With Ryu having Ken, Samus having Dark Samus, and Peach having Daisy, surely it's only a matter of time before Shadow gets the upgrade from an assist trophy to an in-game character. One can hope. Wood Culture. Number 4, Kirby might not be the only survivor. If you watched the Smash Ultimate trailer, you would have seen all of our beloved heroes being taken by beams of light, with the only survivor being Kirby. But what many failed to realize is that after Shulk's vision gives him insight into the attack, he is also not seen being taken by the light along with the rest. Does this mean he also escapes? Will he be a main influence in the story? We do know Kirby will be the first character we use in story mode, but how long will it be until Shulk appears? Although we can't yet answer these questions, Nintendo does have a way of always surprising fans with unexpected outcomes. So I'm really, really looking forward to the story mode in Smash. I love Subspace Emissary back in Brawl. I thought that was I think once you got a little ways into it, it got a little tiresome. But I think it's also because I probably binged that section of the game way too much. I never paced myself very, very well in that game. So I would just play until I got sick of it. So I think towards the end of the Subspace Emissary, I can't say it, I got very much tired and irritated with it because it just kept going. I just was like, hey, we got this character, and we got this character, and we got this character. Oh, and there's Sonic, and Sonic's going Goku. He's Super Saiyan. But I hope this is a more balanced and just as entertaining of a story, though, because I think it's really cool when they try to do story modes in the Smash Brothers game and connect everything and everyone. It's a very unique experience. Number 3, there are mobile game influences. Ba-da-bum. Despite being one of the most hyped Nintendo Switch games so far, it's been difficult to not notice a few minor details that could lead to this Super Smash Bros. Being less exciting than first thought. During the Nintendo Direct, the devs introduced fans to a lot of the new game features, but upon closer inspection, most of those being added could be mistaken for mechanics ripped straight out of a mobile-type game. The addition of spirit support and powering up characters with other characters slightly makes the release seem a little cheap. However, while they do raise a few red flags, a strong mobile game influence doesn't spell total disaster, and Nintendo hopefully won't resort to making these systems feel predatory. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't even know what this is really talking about. I've done my best to keep very, very clean, I'm not going looking around. I don't want to be super spoiled by a ton of stuff. I've seen a few of the trailers. I've not watched every single one of them. It's one of those things. It's good enough that I know that this game is coming out. I've got it pre-ordered, and I'm a massive fan, and I'm always looking forward to these games. That's enough for me. That's all I really need. I don't need to know the ins and outs and the I know the roster for the most part. I mean, there's just some things I feel like it's best left to discover on your own. I think we live in a time period where we want all the information immediately, as soon as possible. And I just think with certain things, it's like I do some movies. I'm the same way. I just don't want to know what happens. And most of the time, I want to go and look and see what's up. But this is one of the few very rare examples of me just saying, you know what, we'll figure it out when we get in game. No sense in it. Number 2, story mode has a board game structure. This is really cool too. After playing the Subspace Emissary, I love saying that. It's such a cool term. It's a cool term for your story mode. On the Wii version of Smash, the majority of fans were hoping for something similar with Ultimate, but after watching the trailer, it looks as though Nintendo will be giving players something completely different. Instead of cinematic scenarios where you're forced to choose between certain fighters, the trailer made it seem like players will be moving over a board game with your chosen fighter attempting to clear each mission. That plays so well with what the original Smash Brothers, the set pieces were. Master Hand would pull these what looked like toys out of a chest, and honestly, it was like, it felt like it was when you were a kid and you were playing with these dolls, and it's like your imagination made them come to life, kind of a thing. And that's what's going on. That's what these fights are. The introduction of a board game structure may not have been what fans wanted or expected, but history proves you should never doubt a Nintendo game on the magnitude of Super Smash Bros. I'm just saying, it just pays homage to Smash Bros. 1. And there's something I always wonder when it comes to these Smash Bros. Games. How are they going to top themselves for the next console? You know what I mean? Like, could this potentially be the last Smash Bros. We get? The next Smash Bros. That comes out is going to be a port onto some other system. I don't know. It's just really, it really makes me wonder a lot of times, how are they going to one-up themselves? And number 1, voice acting is finally here. Fox, Zelda, Ken, and Marth are just some of the voices fans got to hear during the numerous trailers released for Smash Brothers or Smash Ultimate so far. While it's cool, it will be interesting to see how widespread voice acting is, as the game boasts over 80 playable characters. While not everyone will need a voice actor, Mario, Snake, and Sonic are a few of the characters fans should expect to hear in the future. Does this mean every character will be heard speaking at some point? Will there be more cutscenes than Nintendo have teased? Will fans finally get to hear the voice of Link? Please no. Hopefully Super Smash Bros. Ultimate answers all of these questions and more upon its release. We don't need to know what Link sounds like. I think him being the voiceless protagonist is not a bad thing. It's proof that he interacts with the other characters. So, that said, guys, that's the bit of a little small primer. I apologize that this isn't a massive recording. We didn't have a show last week. I apologize for that. A lot of it was because of the holidays. But I'm hoping that the next few weeks we'll be able to get something more involved, something more, more actual podcast than one of these little quickies. But regardless, I still thank every one of you for watching. I apologize also that this is, the quality of this may not be very good, because this is being recorded on my phone. I'll be completely honest. I'm not even near my microphone to do any kind of editing. So this is a very, very raw. I've tried to do all this in one take kind of scenario. So thank you for being patient with me. And guys, I will be back next week with a new question of the week. The last one we had didn't go very well, so we're just gonna scrap it. We're gonna start new, and with a lot more content, a lot more stuff to talk about. Smash Brothers, guys, comes out in, a week. What are we going to do about that? We're going to play it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to play it like the madmen and women that we are. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. Once again, you can follow us on Twitter at SSG_podcast. look for the red logo. You'll know who you found. And also you can follow us on Facebook. I try to keep, if there's any news or any kind of notes, or if there's anything going on, something changes, that's the best place to actually see what's going on with the actual podcast and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this wasn't too hard to listen to, and I will catch you guys next week. See ya.